Hello again. In part one of this three-part series, I gave you 5 questions from your own life that prove you already have the willpower to lose weight. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it first. The link is right above. It'll change how you see yourself. But if you're here, you're ready for the next step. You know you have the willpower. Now, let's talk about how to direct it. I'm Dr. Greg Oliver, and today I'm giving you the 6 pillars of what I call directed willpower, the specific behaviors that separate people who lose weight and keep it off from people who stay stuck. These aren't motivational concepts. These are clinical tools. So let's get into them. Here's what I've learned from over 2 decades of supervising real patients through real weight loss. The people who succeed are not the ones who feel the most motivated on day one. They're the ones who have, whether they know it or not, mastered these 6 pillars or 6 things. We'll start with pillar 1, commitment. Commitment is not a feeling. I want to say that again because it matters enormously. Commitment is not a feeling. Commitment is a decision you make before the hard days even arrive. When you feel motivated, anyone can keep going. Commitment is what carries you on the days when the motivation is completely gone, and those days will come. In weight loss, commitment means deciding ahead of time, not I'll try, but I will. It means building your identity around the goal and not chasing the goal itself. The patients who succeed aren't the ones who feel the most fired up on the first day. They're the ones who made a real decision and then took action on it. There is a significant difference between wanting to lose weight and committing to losing weight. Most people are stuck in the wanting phase. Commitment is the moment you cross into action and protect that action even when it's inconvenient. Let's look at pillar number 2, persistence. Persistence is commitment tested by time. I tell every patient this from their very first visit. Weight loss is not linear. The scale will go down. The scale will go up. This happens on a week-to-week basis. Sometimes the number even goes up, but persistence means you don't interpret that plateau as failure. You interpret it as information. The research is extremely consistent on this. The people who lose weight and keep it off long term are not the people who never struggled or never hit a plateau. They're the people who refuse to let a hard week become a reason to quit the dietary and weight loss program. Pillar 3, constant forward action, even when it seems pointless. This pillar is critical, and it's the hardest for most people to take ownership of. Forward action does not mean perfect action. It means that even on a bad day, you still do something. Even when you slipped up yesterday, you start again today. Even when you can't see any progress, you take the next right step. Let's look closer at the principle of imperfect action. The patient who eats an unplanned meal and gets back on track at the very next meal will outperform the patient who gives up for the rest of the week because of that one slip. Every single time, progress compounds. Small, sustained actions produce large results, not because of motivation, but because of math. I also want to name something that patients don't hear often enough. Forward action sometimes looks like staying the same. A week where you maintain your weight while you're on a vacation or a family crisis comes up or an unusually stressful period at work, that's a win. That is willpower in action, so don't discount that. Let's look at pillar number 4, proper goal setting. One of the most common mistakes I see is patients arriving with the wrong goal. The goal of, I want to lose 80 pounds. That's not a goal. It's a wish. A goal has structure. In our practice, we build goals with every patient. A long-term target, monthly milestones, and weekly action steps. All 3 levels matter. And here's something most people don't hear. Your goals need to be realistic. Not because you can't think big, but because unrealistic goals set you up for the exact kind of discouragement that triggers quitting the weight loss plan altogether. We're not trying to lose 40 pounds in 8 weeks. We're trying to build a sustainable pattern that gets you to your goal and keeps you there for the rest of your life. Pillar number 5, action planning. A goal without a plan is a dream, not a goal. The action plan is the bridge between intention and outcome. What are you going to eat specifically? When are you going to eat it? What happens when you travel? What's your contingency plan when the week falls apart? Because it will. The research on what are called implementation intentions is remarkable. An implementation intention is simply an if-then plan. If this situation arises, then I'll do this specific thing. Here's an example. If I'm stressed at work, then I'll take a 5-minute walk instead of going to the vending machine. Or if I missed my exercise session today, then I'll focus more on my diet and add a session of exercise later this week to my schedule. Or if friends want to meet at a restaurant, then I'll check the menu online first and know what I'll order before I get there, because I'm in control. People who plan specifically for these obstacles, including emotional obstacles, are dramatically more likely to push through them than people who simply set goals and hope for the best. This is willpower, but it's preloaded willpower, built in advance before the hard moment shows up. In our supervised program, we help every patient build a realistic, week-by-week behavioral plan. Not just a meal plan, but a full contingency plan for the situations that derail most people. This structure is a major part of what separates medically supervised care plans or from people who go it alone or just read a diet book. Lastly, pillar 6, progress tracking. What gets measured gets managed. That's true in business, it's true in medicine, and it is absolutely true in weight loss. Tracking does 2 things. First, it keeps you honest. It's very easy for us to underestimate what we're eating and overestimate how active we are. Most people are doing both. Data doesn't do that. Data tells the truth. Second, tracking makes progress visible. And visible progress is one of the most critical and powerful behavior motivators that we know of. I'm not talking about obsessing over every calorie or weigh every food in a gram scale. I'm talking about regular, structured check-ins, weight trends, body measurements, energy levels, lab values that give you real feedback on whether what you're doing is actually working. In our program, we track everything together at each visit. That built-in accountability is one of the most underrated parts of a supervised medical weight loss plan. So, the 6 pillars: commitment, persistence, constant forward action, proper goal setting, action planning, and progress tracking. These are not abstract ideas. These are specific behavioral tools that make the willpower that we know you already have, the willpower we established in part 1, into actual lasting results. Coming up in my part 3 video of this willpower series, I'm going to go a layer deeper into what's actually happening in your brain when willpower gets hard. And the one thing that most weight loss programs never address that is silently undermining patients every single day. Your weight, your health, your life is important. I'm here to give you the tools, ideas, and information to make positive changes in these areas so you can live each day to the fullest. I'm Dr. Greg Oliver, and I'll see you in part 3 video on willpower. So long for now.